Well, good evening, everybody, and inviting all the panelists on the call to turn on your cameras and your microphones so we can introduce ourselves. But I love watching that melee of all of those things to do with the arts and everything, Leigh, that as the head of arts, you've built over the last nearly 30 years at West Island School. And this evening, I've got Maria Chow, who's the admissions secretary and also my personal assistant, who's here to help us with some questions later on during this presentation. I've also got Helen Devine-Costa, who'll give us a wave, who is my vice principal and responsible with a focus on learning to do with post-16 courses. And also Leigh Dalgarno, who is the head of faculty for all of the arts at West Island School. And also as well, you'll see several people, Jack, Ava, Thomas and Leah. And these are our delightful students who'll be talking later about their experience of the arts, because they can tell you about their learning, their aspirations, and also what kind of experience you could anticipate by joining West Island School arts programs. And also this evening, we have Amber, who is a student from HKU. And Amber is going to do simultaneous translation into Chinese for our audience. And there is a button down below called interpretation. And if you press that button, you'll hear Amber's voice as she translates simultaneously. And I'm just going to let Maria talk in Chinese for any of our audience that will hear that information as well. So I'll just go quiet for a moment.
各位嚟到我哋西道中學嘅簡報會，咁咧好歡迎大家啦！今日我哋除咗有我哋嘅校長 Mr. Chris Sammons 之外咧，仲有我哋嘅副校長 Miss Helen Devine-Costa， 同埋我哋個Arts 嘅 Department 嘅主任老師啦，咁佢 Miss Leigh Dalgarno， 同埋我哋4位好可愛同埋好精英嘅同學啦，有 Leigh 啦、Thomas 同埋 Ava 同埋阿 Jack 咧，佢都會幫我哋做一個同學嘅分享嘅。咁咧今日我哋咧亦都好多謝阿 Amber， 佢係我哋香港大學嘅同學啦，佢今日會幫我哋做一個即時嘅翻譯嘅，咁就係由英文轉做中文。如果各位有需要嘅話咧，可以撳下邊嗰個選擇嗰個掣嗰度咧，有一個叫做 interpretation 嘅一個掣，你一撳落去好似個地球咁嘅，你一撳咗落去嘅話咧，咁你就會聽到 Amber 會將我哋今日嘅簡報會翻譯成中文㗎啦。咁好啦，多謝晒大家，唔該晒。
Thank you so much, Maria. And what I'll do is invite Leigh to start sharing the presentation, which we'll be talking through this evening. And the rest of our panelists will just turn off their videos and their audio so we can take you through things. So listen, while we're talking, there might be questions which crop up for you. And if you've not used Zoom before, if you look down below, there's something called Q&A. And what you can do if you hover over the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen is that you can put any questions that you like in there. And what we'll do in the background is we'll either type you an answer or we'll save the question till the end and we'll answer that question all together orally at the end. But Leigh will put up the first slide for me to share with you why West Island. And the first thing is that our belief is that each individual child can follow their passion, their aspiration, and build on their strengths to be individually the best that they can be. It's something that all of our teachers are creating on a daily basis, all of our parents understand, and our students benefit from. And why we get out of bed every morning as teachers of West Island School is to think about how we create some exceptional learning opportunities that really help young people achieve to their strengths. But what we also know is that to be your best, you have to be fulfilled. And this, I think, is extraordinarily true for arts programs where young people can talk very passionately about how they fulfill their most inner desire when they're performing, expressing, or being creative in their particular discipline of the arts. We also think it's important for young people's well-being to understand about giving to others, because if you're giving to others through your service, then you're absolutely looking after your own sense of well-being too. And that's something that all of our students can do through the arts programme, how they share the products of their creativity and given as gifts, whether it's on the stage, whether it's through the visual arts, or whether it's through their music. And finally, one of the most exciting things about studying at West Island School is we have over 38 different nationalities represented in our student body and 28 different nationalities represented in our staff. And so altogether, we benefit from sharing from each other's perspectives, collaborating, understanding culture, and actually understanding how to work in our future chosen occupations. So if I move to the next slide, what I'll be able to talk to you about is what our students actually are. And you'll see they're deeply responsible for the world around them and also have a very high level of understanding around social justice and the leadership they can bring to the world. They are definitely diverse. And in that diversity, they learn to take care of each other and be compassionate about the very different perspectives people can have. Of course, having so many cultures represented means that we can seek to develop our language skills with each other, whether that's understanding how we communicate clearly in one shared language of English, whether it's the development of native language such as Putonghua or Mandarin, or whether it's actually a home country language for some of our expatriate populations. And quite importantly is that the IB programs which we offer develop criticality. So it's about understanding how the content of the skills and the knowledge that we're developing help us to think more critically about the world and how we interact with it. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to pass over to Mrs. Devine-Costa, who looks after our post-16 programs and can talk a little bit more in depth about the different pathways for the arts.
Thanks, Chris. Good evening, everybody. So when you join us in post-16 at West Island, what are you going to get? What are you buying into? Well, you're buying into a learning pathway that's tailored to your individual needs. We have such a range of courses here and probably the best art provision in any school in Hong Kong. And all of our students can find something that they love, that they're passionate about, and that they can enjoy. All our students are placed successfully every year in leading universities worldwide, USA, UK, Europe, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, you name it, we have students that have been there. And we place students in a whole range of universities, from the most competitive, and we have a special pathway to support those students, including students that go on to some of the most competitive arts colleges in the world, and a team of higher education counsellors which look after each individual student for their 2 years through the entire process. So from those initial questions of what you might be interested in, right the way through the application process, and right beyond that to placing you in your final university placement. And pastorally, we're really proud of what we offer here. We really do care about the individual. So every student has a tutor group, every student has an individual tutor who looks after them for 2 years and really takes care of their wider needs. We have a CAS program, so a creativity, activity and service program, which all students take part in. And that's really that holistic approach to learning. It's not just about what you learn in the classroom, it's about all the skills that you develop beyond it. We have a huge amount of leadership opportunities and a really experienced pastoral team. So I'm really well supported by our Director of Learning, Sarah Ellison, and we have some specialised heads of year who again stay with your students through the whole process of their 2 years at post-16. Now, in terms of the different academic pathways, there are really 2 main routes that will take you through post-16 and onto university. We have the IB Diploma programme, so the International Baccalaureate Diploma programme on the left here, which is just IB courses, or we have an International Baccalaureate and BTEC combined program, which is a more kind of career-related program, and that allows students to do a combination of exam-based work and continuous assessment. And both of those pathways lead our students to universities worldwide. Now, at this point, I'm going to hand over to Leigh Dalgarno, who's our Head of Creative Arts faculty, and she's going to talk you through some of the more specialist aspects of all of our creative arts. Leigh, over to you.
Thanks, Helen. Thank you very much for that. And thank you very much for joining us this evening, everyone. I'm just going to take you through a little bit about what we are doing in the arts and think what we value, what we offer, the different pathways that are available, and what it's like for life in the arts. And you're going to meet some incredible students as well this evening who are going to talk to you about their experiences. Now, if you've got any questions, of course, please do put them in the chat, and I'll be available at the end to hopefully answer those for you this evening. So I imagine that you, like me, have got an investment and a real deep interest and a passion for the arts. We really want our young people to be curious and to discover and to use their artistic voice. And what's something that drives us every day is that we want our students to really shout out and share and shine to the rest of the world just exactly who they are. And at West Island and in the Creative Arts faculty, it is our mission to ensure that that we bring not only pleasure and participation and expression, but knowledge and skills into the lives of our young people. We value and champion diversity and also the vitality of those different cultures that Chris talked about, and our histories and our heritages in our community. We look for new ways in the arts through exhibitions and performances and productions for our students to develop their creativity and to show their originality, their sense of innovation and their imagination.
自己嘅思想同埋創意，我哋都會希望係激發佢哋。
We challenge them to actually see beyond the surface, to actually interpret all those details and to reflect and to express in their own unique way just exactly who they are, what they know and what they can do as creative artists. Look, we value every individual young creative artist in our faculty in our school. We want them to thrive. We want them to be happy. We want them to be confident to express themselves in the arts. And one of our greatest advantages is that we can work together and collaborate on artistic projects that require all those important essential life skills like communication, creative thinking, research, planning, finding solutions. So working in the arts, either on your own or collaborating, is so exciting. It's so energizing. We really do celebrate the success of individuals, but more importantly, something that I really believe in is that we showcase that we achieve better together. And these are the 5 key things that we value. Now, I've been talking about the arts as a collective, and let me explain to you our particular arts and discrete pathways we've got for our post-16 learners. We offer 2 pathways. The first is that vocational work-related BTEC route that Helen was talking about. And we have 2 courses, Art and Design and Performing Arts. Students can work both solo and in groups in those courses, producing work that is linked to industry, and they have assignments which are continuously assessed. They have opportunities to experience work with industry professionals, either through workshops with visiting artists or performers and various companies. And next year, I'm really excited because we are beginning a collaboration with the Hong Kong Academy of Performing Arts. And our performing arts students are going to participate in an extended professional sort of learning experience in this first-class, highly respected Asian institution. And that's something that is going to be a new opportunity, and I'm really welcoming that collaboration with this prestigious institution here in Hong Kong. And also, as the world opens up again after the pandemic, we're really looking forward to opening up our Artist in Residence programs as well. On the other route, the IB route, we have two different pathways, which you'll hear from our students this evening. We've got the full diploma program where our students can select 6 subjects, including one of those 5 arts on your screen there. We also have the career-related program, and students will choose a minimum of 2 IB subjects, again, including from that arts offering there. And they will, part of the career-related program, they'll also study other career-related studies as well. Now, I think one of the most unique and distinguishing features of West Island School and our creative arts faculty is that we're actually able to offer all 5 disciplines of the arts. And this is really a comprehensive kind of arts education that anyone can offer. And I believe we are actually one of the only ones in Hong Kong to do this. I think what this should actually sort of confirm for you is, again, the value that we place in the arts here at West Island School, but more importantly, the respect that we have for young people who have a range of skills and talents, and so we're committed to providing a diverse and a rich curriculum here at West Island. So now you know what we offer and what matters to us as a school and as a faculty. Let me introduce to you some incredibly talented Year 12 creative artists who can tell you a little bit more about arts at West Island School. So I'll invite you to meet Thomas, who is our film student, and Leigh, who is a performing arts student studying theatre, and Jack, who is working in music and is a careers-related program student, and Ava, who is a visual artist and is part of the IB Diploma. So welcome to you all, good evening. I'm going to start with you, Thomas. I've got some questions for you all, and please feel free to all of you can respond if you want to, but Thomas, I will start.
Ms. Dalgarno, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but would it be okay if you stop sharing while we're doing the questions? Because then as a viewer, you can see everybody on the same screen. Thank you. Great.
Oh, that's much, much better. Thank you. My little...
咁我哋而家咧就會熄咗我哋嘅簡報嘅，咁就
So, Thomas, why is it important to study an arts subject? Can you share that with us this evening?
覺得讀藝術課程有啲咩重要咧？我覺得讀藝術嘅課程可以令到我哋嘅學生係可以發展佢哋嘅創意思維，令到佢哋可以發展佢哋嘅對於喺
And what about you, Ava? What do you tell us about that creativity that Thomas was talking about? It. How do you use creativity in your arts lessons, and what sorts of things do you learn?
Well, in the arts, especially in IB Diploma, you spend basically most of the lessons doing practical work, and while you're working,
上堂可能會有一啲好實際嘅學習。
feedback, and that is when
佢哋都會俾好多好建設性嘅建議我哋。
You can kind of give them your intentions, because artist intentions is really important. So while you're in this course, you're kind of developing your own kind of ideology of how you perceive art, and everyone is different. So this kind of helps you develop like your individual artistic styles.
Yeah, and I suppose that individual artistic style is that kind of creative thinking that Thomas was talking about, which is a gateway into so many different subjects. And your visual arts work is certainly, I've seen today actually some of the work that you've been working on, and some amazing detail and some thinking that's going on. So Jack, you're a musician, and how do you think that your study of your subject of music is going to help you in the future?
I think my study of music, I have a future aspiration to be a musician when I'm older, and to study music production so I can help create my own music and other people create their own music. And in the music course, we get to delve into like a lot of analysis and like that kind of foundational and fundamentals of like what we would hope to start learning and studying when we grow older.
And I suppose if you're going to be a musician and you're going to be a composer and a writer and a player, so that sort of analysis leads on to a lot of that critical thinking, which you try and decide what's right and what sounds good and what could be better, which is all part of that sort of thinking process. So hopefully, Jack, we might see you with albums released, or what's your ultimate goal, do you think?
My ultimate goal? Probably to work with like renowned musicians, notably someone called Jacob Collier, who's, as some people describe him, the Beethoven of the modern era. But yeah.
Yes, and as Jack, you know, Jacob Collier is one of my heroes too, even though he's only about 24, I think, or 25. Yes. So he's an amazing musician. So that's a great person to try and reach for. Leigh, you study theatre, and I know you love theatre. Can it be a career for you? Because I do know you're interested in a couple of other university options as well.
Well, I'm unsure about what I want to do in the future. I don't have a set career path, but I do love theater, and so I can see it being a pretty significant aspect of my future. However, I also do enjoy English and creative writing, and I feel as though I can use those skills that I've learned from theater and kind of use that with my English knowledge and maybe do something in screenwriting. But yeah, I'm definitely want it to be a part of my future, but I'm not entirely sure yet.
Yeah, so who knows what the future will hold, but the nice thing is that you have got some options and that you actually can see some links between what you're doing in the arts now to some of your other subjects. So that puts you in a really good place to sort of make some smart decisions later on. Jack, I just want to ask you, how has West Island inspired you to study the arts?
That's a good question. So from the start of year 7, as I entered West Island School, I created a band called the Capitals with a couple of my friends that I newly met. And the music performance opportunities at West Island is so vast. Within that first year, we began performing on stages in front of the audience.
喺西度中學都俾咗好多機會我哋去表演。嗰陣時候，我覺得我喺台上面非常之專注，我都覺得非常之開心。佢增強咗我嘅自信心，令到我發現到我自己真正想做嘅嘢。Thomas， 你呢？
In your arts learning?
I think what I've enjoyed the most is the collaboration between the students. I think that the arts, no matter which art you're doing, can help connect students creatively. And I also enjoy doing the practical work. You do practical work by yourself and with other students. And although we were on Zoom online and weren't in person, we still
做嘢嘅機會，我哋都有同唔同學生、其他同學學習嘅機會。 即使我哋係喺網上面，我哋亦都係。
Yeah, and that's one of the things I think that, you know, we can achieve better together is something that I really believe in. And it's nice to hear you talking about that sort of collaboration. Leigh, you know, you're talking about, going back to you, I was just thinking you're talking about, you know, maybe combining with your English creative writing. Do you think that your study in the arts complements other subjects that you do?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, creative thinking skills, but as well interpretive skills and being able to analyze situations and finding the deeper meaning, because constantly in theater you have to look back and reflect on your work and kind of really think about what each moment means. And especially in subjects like history or English, when you're constantly having to analyze sources or essays or extracts, being able to find that deeper meaning and those interpretive skills are really important, as well as what Tom was saying, that collaborative aspect, because in theater we're constantly working together to create moments or performances or pieces. And so the majority of my collaborative skills have come from theater.
Yeah, and it's interesting to hear you all talk about a lot of those sort of key skills that a lot of employers are looking for these days in terms of, you know, those skills of analysis and creative thinking and collaboration and communication, and not looking for people who know things. It's actually sort of what you can do and how you can work together. Ava, what have been the biggest you've experienced, sort of either for yourself or perhaps talking on behalf of others?
When it comes to challenges, I think in the IB diploma especially, there are like 6 subjects you have to care about. And so managing the workload is very important. You have to be very organized with your time management, for example. And it's also important to stay self-disciplined when you're working, because art is a very independent subject. You have to know when you're, for example, if you're making a piece, you need to know when you're done with the piece, like what is completed to you, because to different art teachers, it's different. They might think it's good, and the other teacher might think, oh, you can do better to develop this piece. But in the end, you have to be the one to present it and put it into the hall, and you have to be the one to write why are your intentions like that. So making your own decisions and be confident with your own ideas is very important in the art subjects.
好信心嘅。
Certainly audiences are equally important to us as creative artists, just as much as we alone and our intentions are really important. So I'm going to open up this question to all of you actually, and so feel free to jump in. So the question to you is, what would you say? Now we've got a number of people online this evening who are interested in the arts at post 16 at West Island School. What would you say to someone who was thinking of joining West Island School or studying studying an arts at in year 12 and 13? What would you say to those prospective students? Jack.
The first thing that I'd probably say is that West Island School does have astounding facilities. Coming from a musician's perspective, the music facilities are like top notch. We recently got a new like sound room behind our auditorium, which facilitates this kind of music production environment and like creative workspace.
Yeah.
Just in terms of theater, anyone wanting to do theater at West Island just needs to not be afraid of being judged, because everyone here is very non-judgmental and very supportive. And when you're performing, you just need to go completely all out and express yourself in the way you want to, because that's when like really good theater is performed.
Thanks, Leigh. Yeah, exactly. And that ties in with that kind of sense of family that I believe that we are in the arts. Ava.
I think one thing to keep in mind if you want to do the arts or visual arts subject is to accept being critiqued by your audience, because that is the only way to improving your work and taking in many different perspectives to your art pieces. Be open-minded, and also be also kind of stay curious. Like, remember that when you're in the art course, you have to memorize that there's quality and there's also quantity, and teachers do focus on quantity a lot, especially in the art subject. Like, you have to keep working, and when they set due dates, make sure to like stay on track, because what they're trying to do is to keep you on track so that you don't have to push everything to the back. Yes.
Yeah. So definitely that sort of time management and organization. And Thomas, yeah, from you.
I'd just say if you're taking an art, you have to just keep going and keep practicing that art. Whether it's drama, visual arts, music, film, no matter what, practice is what makes your work look like it's of good quality. And after you start practicing, you'll realize that you'll start to enjoy it more as you'll gain more experience. And West Island School has great facilities, building on from Jack's point, for all the departments. And I think that's something I highly appreciate.
And thanks for that. I think you're all completely right, and that we just keep pushing and striving to reach that sort of ultimate finish line, which we all do in every subject. But I think what's nice in the arts is, and you four really are examples of this, in that, you know, you try and try and try, and you will. Sometimes we have a saying, everyone, that we don't believe there are mistakes in the arts. Nothing is ever a mistake. Everything's a trial and an exploration. And that's the nice thing. If you're organized and you're working gradually in the great facilities that we've got and evaluating what you've got, you'll always keep pushing to that end, and doing that not alone but with other people. So thank you very much to Jack and Ava, Leah and Thomas for sharing your experiences with us this evening.
Can I just drop a question in? We just had a question from a parent online, and they said, what are the drama performance opportunities that are available at West Island? And the last 18 months have been no good to anybody in the arts. And so let's not focus on that. Jack, I see you nodding there. Let's focus on the time before COVID was around. And maybe if somebody could represent drama just for a couple of seconds, maybe somebody could represent music, and talk about perhaps the opportunities that teachers create for you to perform to peers. So I don't know who could talk to that. Maybe Jack, if you could start with music, and then maybe someone could pick it up in terms of drama, and somebody could pick it up in terms of visual art.
Gladly. So before the dreaded COVID hit us, there were a vast amount of music performance opportunities. Just before COVID, in fact, we had the annual Interdynasty Star Search event, of which I performed in with my band, The Capitals. And not only do we have that event, but we have this CAS activity called Rock School, in which, like, almost every month you get around 2 performance opportunities, both in school, and occasionally you go to restaurants such as Grappa's, and also that branches out into performance opportunities that I've done in like Discovery Bay or in Central.
And I think, Jack, you should also mention that you were the leader or the co-leader of that Star Search event that we had just before we closed. You're lucky to get in. You did a sterling job of coordinating hundreds of students and hundreds of well, not hundreds of performances, but nearly 100 performances. So you're quite modest there, I think. And
could anybody speak to the drama and the availability of opportunities you've had to perform in drama to the rest of the school community?
Well, we have our auditorium, which is amazing, and it's newly built as well. Unfortunately, we haven't had the opportunity to have any performances there yet, but hopefully soon. But before COVID, every year there was a very big play production that the drama department would put on, and those were always amazing. And in terms of kind of the smaller scale events within drama courses, you are always kind of creating performances, and we have 2 amazing black box theaters with the whole lights and the whole setup, which is amazing. And so you're constantly performing, and you perform to other year groups and to teachers and to audiences, and there's just a lot of opportunity when it comes to performing in drama.
Okay, and anybody, I know we have the art exhibition every year. Ava and Thomas, can you talk to anything to do with that in terms of how your art is displayed to audiences?
You basically you make a lot of pieces, and then with the teacher's help, you discuss which are your favorites one, or like which one gives you a story of when you started your arts and then all the way until the end. And it shows you the process. And then basically year groups are allowed to pop into the assembly hall and walk through the exhibition, and like you can let them like see your work, and that is how we
我哋就會將所有作品擺埋一齊
to the rest of the school and give them I don't know, kind of like a therapy session or a meditating session where they can just be free to think how we thought when we made our pieces.
Ava, I will tell you, I have paid very good money to go to very poor art exhibitions compared to the standards that you guys produce for us. So anyway, I'll butt out now. Thanks very much, Ms. Dalgarno.
Okay. And I think, Thomas, maybe you should tell our audience about some of the film collaborations and music collaborations you've been doing, which showcase your work.
Yeah, so I've been working with a few musicians, Jack is one of them, to collaborate and produce scores for films. A lot of people in the film department, a lot of students like to collaborate with music students and give them the opportunity. And it works the other way as well when music students need an example clip for them to work off in music. And same with arts, I've worked with art students to produce drawings that could mimic a set design. And I've also worked with drama students like Leigh to act in films. So I think that all the art subjects kind of intertwine at some point, and that collaboration is very good.
Yeah, thank you so much, Thomas, and thank you to you all. You have really summed up beautifully just exactly what it's like to be a creative artist. And I'm just going to stop I'm going to share my slide presentation again. So bear with me. So thank you, Thomas and Ava and Jack, and hopefully that if there are any questions that I'll be able to answer from parents later on, that maybe you might still be online, you can help answer those. Let me move on then. So I think you'll agree that though these 4 students represent the kind of young adults who should pursue the arts and at West Island School. Each of them have their own unique artistic identity, as you've heard tonight. And this is being really developed and created in a kind of supportive and nurturing environment here at West Island. I do think those 4 students you've just heard, they are ambassadors for the arts. They're a good example of young adults who are absolutely committed to personal artistic expression and to creativity and to inquiry. So we wish you all the best on your learning journey. You've got 12 more months to go, and or even less, a little bit, and then you're out into university and that sort of creative industries career. So let me just take you then to, this is now over the last few years. Here's a snapshot of some recent graduates. And some of the courses that they have been, that they are presently studying. Now you can see that there are some courses that are exclusively related to individual disciplines like fine art and dance. There's also other courses that are an extension into related fields like fashion and architecture. Others are highly specialist like acting and what Jack wants to do, which is music production. while there are some that actually represent a burgeoning development in university courses at the moment, which I think is quite exciting. And these are courses that combine arts with other fields such as business and enterprise, with law, and with psychology. So when it comes to careers, I am often asked, I want my child to follow their dreams. I want them to study the arts at university, but what kind of job can they get? Will they be employable? And the answer is yes, absolutely, of course they will be. The most obvious careers are the ones that where they become the musicians, where they are composers, artists and actors and dancers, film directors. But there are many more associated careers. And the Creative Industries Council in the UK just released a report back in March that said that in the UK, the creative industries sector are developing new jobs faster than any other sectors, and that there is an expected 15% increase in employment forecast in the next few years. So I think, you know, parents, I think you're in a really safe kind of place to help your child to confirm their destination in and at university studying in arts, because it does lead to a healthy career in the creative industries, and particularly when governments are supporting the development of those of the creative industries. I did mention before dual degrees like music and law, which leads to things like entertainment, specialism in entertainment law. But there are a wealth of other careers like advertising and marketing, museum work, galleries, libraries, publishing, graphic design, production, curating. And there is actually an emerging and probably the fastest growing area at the moment, which is called Createch. And that's where we've got designers, technology designers who are also linking, or also creative arts backgrounds, and they're designing new technologies for use by creative artists, not just in the traditional methods, but using technology. Coming now to some of our graduates that we've had in recent years, here's a few examples of our alumni who are now successful professionals, either in the creative industries or in those related careers that I was talking about. Now, their studies have taken them worldwide, and they are in secure employment. At the moment, we're really fortunate to have Kelsey Ang with us. Kelsey is working with us as part of our extracurricular activity in dance, and she's been coaching dancers online via Zoom, and it's been a fantastic opportunity for our students to work with Kelsey, and she is certainly becoming a name and a force of dance in Hong Kong. So from graduates to global CEOs, you can see the reach that the arts can have by these people on screen here. They've all come from a background that has taught them about creativity and arts and design. They are proof that creative arts education can lead to diverse and specialty careers. Now, we were talking, someone asked before the students what sort of activities that are available, what sort of opportunities there are available for creative artists at West Island School. And so beyond our daily sort of lessons, we do have about 50, and this is pre-pandemic, but we have about 15 different activities that are core that happen weekly. These can range from orchestras and bands and choirs, art and filmmaking groups, dance and drama weekly activities, and these are led by staff and also by post-16 students as well. We have competitions at school and outside of school that we promote with our students, and also theatre productions like Leigh was talking about. And in our welcome video, you would have seen quite a number of concert events and production work that is evidence of the kind of weekly activities that culminate in these kinds of activities. We proudly place all of these weekly activities and all of our productions under this sort of brand, our performance brand, which we call Circle in the Water. I won't go into all the reasons why, but we have this logo and why Circle in the Water. But one of the things is about this ripple effect and the impact that can happen that just keeps on growing and growing. And so not only for an individual, the experience that they can get, it just keeps developing and making them stronger and more confident because they're working weekly and expressing themselves and with others. But the other thing is the impact is absolutely outstanding for audiences, and audiences of my colleagues who say, wow, I didn't know that he or she or they could do could sing or could play or could do that. So that ripple effect is quite amazing. And we just have so much talent at West Island School. And I feel really proud that we've got both a classroom, a learning curriculum, but also that learning happens in our creativity, activity and service programs, which happen beyond the classroom. We talked about our spaces before, and I'm sitting here with, it's a virtual background, but this is our auditorium. It is, yes, it is waiting for its first production and its first gala performance. We have a lot of well-resourced and specialist dedicated arts facilities. They are really, truly wonderful places and spaces with specialist equipment and technology. Our auditorium is 350 seats. It's got the latest in digital audio and lighting technology. And we absolutely can't wait to use it once the COVID restrictions lift. We've got dance spaces, a dedicated dance studio. We've got filmmaking suites. We've got music classrooms, big open spaces with stages and lots of studios. As Leigh said, we've got 2 black box drama studios, and we've got 3 dedicated art workshop spaces as well. So we've got 15 specialist teachers and technicians who work every day putting what I call imagination into action. We aim to make our students feel like they are real actors, real dancers, real musicians, real artists, and real filmmakers. We work together in lessons, lunchtime, after school, and sometimes on weekends to challenge ourselves to explore and to experiment with different art forms that really do express who we are, what we know, and what we can do. The creative arts faculty at West Island is a dynamic arts family. And I mean family because we share a lot of time together. We critique one another. We push ourselves to be the best that we can be. And this is really our creative arts DNA. I feel absolutely proud to be part of West Island School and the vibrant and successful arts culture that we've built over a number of years, working alongside these amazing young people you've seen tonight and many more. And I hope that you will join us soon. So I'm going to hand back now.
Thanks, Leigh.
Thank you.
I'll just
share my screen with you. Oops, sorry.
That's okay. Leigh, I've just got a question that's come through saying, do I only take one art subject and how do I choose? I think this is from a student who maybe has a passion for more than one?
Okay, in post-16. So at the full diploma level, yes, we have to offer one group 6 subject. And I do know that there are students who are very keen on doing, say, something like music and drama. That's a very common request. There used to be a kind of transdisciplinary kind of option, but things may have changed. And maybe Ms. Devine-Costa or Helen, you might be able to tell us a little bit more about the latest that the IB full diploma can offer.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think with the diploma program, really, it's one art subject. But I think one of the powers that we have as a school and as a faculty is that if you are genuinely passionate in a range of arts areas, that the alternative of the careers program allows you to pick multiple arts subjects. And we certainly have students who've done a BTEC in performing arts, and then on top of that, they've done theatre and music, for example. So have done a complete creative arts package that's allowed them to really kind of embrace their passion, indulge, and really kind of focus on what they really want to do in their future. So there's a lot of options out there for creative artists. You just need to come and talk to us, I think.
Okay, that's great. So listen, I'm just conscious we've been on here on a super long time, but really fascinating, and I love that kind of sense of putting art into action. But maybe if we kind of just move swiftly about, you know, people come to West Island School because our teachers are expert at putting young people on the right pathways for the right courses to demonstrate their success. We exist as one of the most high-performing schools in Hong Kong and the world, and certainly in terms of the diploma program, we're in the top 11% of schools worldwide. And I think that speaks to Helen, that thing that you were just saying about, you know, making sure young people are on the right courses to maximize their successes. And if people are using the careers pathway program, and quite a lot of artists will do this because it is about developing your portfolio of experience for those future university choices. Again, our students will secure the very highest results, which puts them in the best positions for when they access universities as well. West Island School, though, isn't just about the exam results, it's about the overall experience, and it's about how young people develop themselves as human beings. And you'll see here the very wide range of extracurricular activities and service programs which our young people become involved in, whether it's being ambassadors for tourists, as they once were when they used to be able to arrive here, whether it's, you can see ERA here, who produced some art as part of a religious studies magazine for education, or it might be Winston there, who's been doing a critical essay there on the development of global perspectives and pandemics. So what's really fascinating for me about the IB program is just how much it brings together thinking. So the sense of the diploma program, whether it's the careers related pathway, whether it's the diploma related pathway, or indeed whether we're using our BTEC qualifications, is because taught purposefully, the research shows that young people develop very highly tuned creative and critical thinking skills. And that's not just me saying that, that's based on the research that was undertaken on more than 560 students from Australia, England and Norway. And the very biggest advantage that our young people have, and they come back and tell us this anecdotally in their stories, is that they are fully prepared for their next stage of life in university or future employment. And what they typically tell us is that they feel so well prepared that they often feel ahead of their peers in those first. We'll send out the links to you later on, and you can click on this slide to find out more about the pathways. But I'd just like to let you know that depending on your year of birth, depends on which year group you would be making an application for. So here, for example, if you were born in the year 2005, Then for the upcoming academic year, 21-22, you would be in our year 12. So you would be making the start of your journey in our post-16 diploma or careers related programs. And this again is available in these slides to you. These are our school zones. So this helps you understand who can make an application to the school, because we're part of the wider foundation of English Schools Foundation. And you're very welcome to call up Maria Chow, my PA and admissions secretary, because she'll be able to tell you very clearly about how to navigate the admissions process. There is an online application system, and all applications for year 8 and year 7 go through what we call for year 7 go through the central applications, and year 8 to 12 come through an application system to the school. And finally, just to help inform you, these are currently where our waiting lists are. So you'll see for anybody that wishes to join us in 21-22 in year 11 or year 12, there's some availability for student places. For years 9 and 10, very short waiting lists, and they will change, I think, quite quickly over the summer as well. So you're very welcome at any time to contact Maria Chow at the school, who can give you the latest updates. And there's her contact details, so you can take a quick photograph on your telephone now, or we will, of course, send you all of these slides with this information on as well. And I'd just like to invite everybody back on. So you're welcome to switch on your cameras, and you're welcome to switch on your audio. And I just need to put my light on because it's gone dark outside. Students, you're welcome to come back in as well. I'm just going to answer some final questions here which were submitted. Somebody says, how can I get a place in West Island even if I applied over a year ago? So again, what I would do is I would give Maria Chow a call, and she will be able to explain to you what the issue might be. It might be you might be on one of the short waiting lists. It might be that you haven't uploaded your documents properly, but if you contact Maria, she'll be able to tell you if you've already made an application. A parent asked before the seminar, how do I prepare for the year 7 admission test? Well, the admissions test is a test of the use of English language, mathematical ability, and we also do a verbal assessment to make sure our learners can access our curriculum. So there's nothing specifically to prepare for. And even if students aren't completely fluent in English, if we feel that we could give them some support from our specialist language teachers, we might offer a conditional place whereby we build in some further support into our curriculum offer. I've got a question here, Leigh, from a parent who said, I want to pursue art in the future, but I picked media for my GCSE course. Will I be able to switch to IB Art for the IB course? I know what I think my answer is to that, but I wonder, Helen or Leigh, if you could maybe speak to that question.
I can speak, Chris. Yes, of course. Of course they can move into IB Art. Quite a lot of our students, of course, do the IGCSE Art pathway into IB Diploma Art, but not all do. And those that don't actually do have a strong interest in art, and they do it outside of school. So that's another pathway into it as well. Sometimes what you're doing in the media course as well, there's a lot of design work and graphic design work, so that can be translated into the visual arts course as well.
And I know that we have had students in the past that haven't felt very strong at drawing, but have accessed the course through other mediums like photography, and are well supported in the arts program as well. So there's a final question here, which is, how do I apply for scholarships for my niece at your school? And unfortunately, ESF schools don't offer scholarships. However, the private finance schools, which is ESF Renaissance and ESF Discovery College, do have some forms of scholarship. So if it is that you are particularly needing the scholarship for financial support, then those would be the 2 schools to apply for. And I know there are places at Discovery College as well with scholarships available. For us here at West Island and for ESF, what I'm really proud to say is of the 52 independent school providers in the international sector, there's only one other school that's cheaper than ESF. It's the absolute objective of the board of ESF governors to make sure this education is available to as many people in Hong Kong as we can possibly make it available to, because of the pride that we take in it and the benefits that we think it gives to young people. So listen, it's been a long while this evening. I'd like to thank everybody on the call, and particularly Amber, who's been working in the background for the translation services. Miss Dalgarno, I can absolutely say I take my hat off to you really for the wide range of opportunities that are available. And thank you for the young people who've stayed with us to share with us just your skill and your ambition and your passion. And I feel deeply proud of everything you've achieved so far. And I know you will go on to have it phenomenal success. And I think, Miss Dalgarno, what you've demonstrated as well is it's not just single success. You know, if I study visual art now, I'm going to become a visual artist. It's about what the skills that gives you to pursue any future career pathway as well. So that's all from me. Maria, any final bits from you as admissions secretary?
I echo the questions that you some parents raised about you might have submitted an application a year ago. I'm not sure if it is year 8 or some other, situation. So the best thing for you to do is to give me a call tomorrow and I'll check it out for you. And for the rest of the parents, if you have any questions about zoning and waiting list and anything, just feel free to give me a call. Like Chris say, the waiting list is slightly changing from time to time. So just give me a shout or give me a call and I'll be happy to support you for your application.
Hey, so listen, it must have been a good presentation because the vast majority of participants are still online, but they must be ready for their dinner. So I'm going to sign off now. If you hang on just for a few moments before you sign off as parents, I'll be a short evaluation questionnaire. It's only 4 questions. It'd be really helpful to know what you think so we can improve these for the future. But thanks a lot, everybody, and have a lovely evening and a wonderful summer when it arrives. Take care.